We're doing 7 boutique fashion tenants. Also got hospitality and food operators, and then offices. Bill Willis rang me and said, we've got this site and we've got the heritage wall and we've been offered funding to save the heritage wall. And he said, what's your advice? And I said, well, if I was you, I'd run a mile, don't go near it, because it'll cost twice as much as your budget and it'll be a nightmare. And he completely ignored me and went ahead and temporarily strengthened it, really.
So when we took it over, it was just in and out, wasn't it? Just like a jigsaw. Yeah, it was a disaster.
Just a loose pile of bricks and Oamaru stone. It was in a horrendous state.
We're long-term holders of building, that's what we don't build them to make a quick buck. We build them to own them long-term.
We're in a city that has to be rebuilt, so someone that does what I do, I'm in the best place in the world. How often do you get the chance to rebuild a city? So we've got our heritage facade with a walkway through into the Sierra Laneway and a series of 1 to 5 buildings.
And we've got a bunch of small artisan food operators who are going to create a kind of like a little food market, which will be opened and licensed at night and during the day. And they're really keen to sort of create a real vibrant sort of buskers events sort of area in here. Just making this a really cool little place to come out and hang out and just enjoy this little part of Christchurch.
15 years ago, this area was just all second-hand stores and really real budget stuff. And then it started developing and it started getting a bit trendy, and some of the boutique fashion people started moving in it, and it was actually becoming really successful pre-quake. And what we're trying to do is those operators and those boutique fashion guys, we're trying to bring those back. This area was, in the blueprint, it was called the Innovation Precinct. No one at the beginning knew what the hell the Innovation Precinct was. Probably only the minister who developed it did. And there's a lot of people who say, well, it doesn't bloody matter anyway because the blueprint's a disaster. But we're not one of those people. We think the blueprint's actually coming to fruition. It's working.
Have you had any trouble leasing the shops?
Well, we have, but not because of lack of tenants. We've been turning the tenants away because we want that right sort of tenant. So we've had all these national brands, which we just felt didn't meet the edgy sort of nature we wanted. So we used to joke, we'd have these board meetings and say, right, which tenant are we turning down this week?
We very early on made a conscious decision to go for a certain type of tenant. They were the anti sort of corporate ones.
It's the totally opposite to Westfields or Riccarton Mall. So this is the heritage wall, and this courtyard opens up into a laneway that connects on to the Sierra Laneways. So that's part of the public realm that's been done as part of the blueprint. That laneway comes up to our building, does a wee chicane around the building and connects onto the courtyards.
Can you ride your bike through there? Is that
It eventually, it's designed to sort of create a circuit around Christchurch and to link all the precincts. So it links the innovation precinct with the medical precinct and then onto the residential precinct, and then you can walk right around a full loop. Yeah.
So we're in a corner, of all of the 2 lanes, the residential homes and the southern lanes, and then we're at the entrance of the Polytech coming into the city down High Street with the tram. It's a really cool sort of area. I think the whole complex we worked out it'll be about 350 people in the series of buildings. We've bought 7 of the Duncan's buildings. There's about 16 of them in total. They're just small 2-storey retail shops with a first floor office. So small boutique, they're only 6 metre frontage, 2-storey unreinforced masonry buildings built about 1900. That's what we're just discussing, how much of that we're going to be retaining, but we'll retain the facade at a minimum and hopefully some of the buildings as well. The engineers went through today and they are suggesting we can retain the facade and not much more, but I'd be pushing to retain a little bit more than that. So, and they open up onto the Sierra courtyard at the back. They'll just be boutique, smaller retail and office and possibly some residential. So a mixture.
They're just so beautiful, aren't they? Yeah. These facades are just so beautiful, and I think it's almost we feel a bit of a responsibility, don't we?
If we can save 13 or 15 of the Duncan's buildings with the Mackenzie and Willis, we're going to have a really cool sort of heritage area. When you drive past that facade and you see it, it really does give you the warm fuzzies, doesn't it?